Hello, I'm Professor Humpty Dumpty, and I will explain to you how the stages of perception and stages of speech production. So let's start with stages of perception. Perception in psychology can be defined as the sensory experience of the work, which includes how an individual recognizes and interprets sensory information. This also includes how one responds to those stimuli. Perception includes this: senses, vision, touch, sound, smell, and proprioception. The following are the stages of perception. So the first stage is stimulation stage. In the stimulation stage, the parent sensory receptors will be stimulated by different stimuli. For example, the eyes will be primed to understand visual stimuli after the stimuli are detected. Information about them will be sent to the brain for processing. The next stages is organization stages. The organization stage starts when information about the stimuli from the sensory receptors arrives in the brain. In this step, the brain will organize information with existing knowledge, rules, schemas, and scripts. The third stage is the interpretation stage. In the interpretation stage, the mind will use all the information from the previous steps to form an understanding of what the individual is sensing. In this step, necessary action will also be decided from the mind. The next stages is memory stages. In the memory stage, when your body stores events and moments in your brain, they become part of your memory. You will build associations between these moments and your personal beliefs and experience. And the last stages is recall stages. In the recall stage, you can even recall moments from your life to evaluate them when you do this. You bring perceived events to your mind to reveal details when you recall moments. Often you can begin to do so more accurately. So that's all of how the stages of perception. I hope you can enjoy and understand it. Because we will jump to the next material. The next material is stages of speech production. There are 5 stages of speech production, also known as the 5 levels of linguistic representation. At each stage, a breakdown can occur and could result in phenomena like tip of the tongue. Tip of tongue is if you're ready to say a sentence, but when you get to a certain word, you just can't quite put your finger on. The first stage is called conceptual preparation. This stage involves formulating the idea that you want to communicate. When a breakdown occurs at this level, it results in an error called semantic substitution. Semantic substitution is when you're trying to select a word, but instead you select a semantically related word. An example would be if you were trying to say, "I was walking my dog," but accidentally said, "I was walking my cat." The next stage is lexical selection, which is the process of choosing the word that matches the previously formed idea. If a breakdown occurs at this level, it could result in the error of lexical exchange. Lexical exchange is when you accidentally flip-flop words. An example of this is if you were to say, "I gave a dog to my cookie," instead of "I gave a cookie to my dog." The third stage is morphosyntactic encoding, which involves arranging the words according to chromatic. When a breakdown occurs at this level, it can result in an error called grammatical exchange. An example of a grammatical exchange speech error would be saying, "I dish the washes" instead of "I wash the dishes." The fourth stage, phonological encoding, is when the speaker plans which sounds to say. If a breakdown occurs at this stage, a speech error called sound exchange may occur. A sound exchange is when the corresponding sounds from 2 words get switched. For example, attempting to say, "Stop talking," but instead producing "tops," talking. The fifth and final stage is articulation. This is the execution of motor commands to produce the sound selected in the previous stage. When a breakdown occurs at this level, it could result in a speech error called sound perseveration. This is when you replace the sound of one word with the corresponding sound from previous words. An example of this type of error is attempting to say "fast car," but instead saying "fast far." So that's all stages of speech production material. I hope you can understand it and enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you.